Well, hello there, you beautiful, beautiful, amazing, wonderful people. You. This is video 2 of 2 today. That's it. I'm like dominoes today. Just doing 2 for Wednesday. Wednesday being the midweek hump, and we all love midweek hump. You are looking absolutely amazing. I hope you are having a good day. I hope you have a good few days. I'm actually going away tomorrow for a few days. I'll probably still put a couple of videos up, but I am away from tomorrow or Friday, Saturday, I think. I don't know. Something like that. Let's hope that I don't frazzle my brain in the sun again or eat any wildlife that sting me in the neck. But anyway, what we're talking about in this video, someone's taking some fucking heat again, isn't they? Oh yes, by the way, disclaimer, harsh swears. And I know that more and more people are moaning about it, and more people I must address by saying I don't care. If you don't like swearing, you don't like this channel, so I'm afraid you're going to have to fuck off. If you want to go and listen to someone who wants to fake it, then fake who they are on YouTube and act all prim and proper for you and, you know, sugarcoat everything, then go and watch them. This is harsh reality over here, and I am someone who is just going to come to you as I am. Do you know what I mean? If you don't like it, that's kind of tough. But look, so Dylan's items tested positive for blood. This is what is the hot topic on Reddit at the moment. A lot of you reached out, said, look, you got to look at this, you got to look at this. It may be a case that this is easily explained, because what we do know is that she's a little bit dumb. You know, when there's screaming around her and people running around, fucking, you know, running at the like their asses on fire, and, you know, again, screaming and firecracker sounds like guns and flashes, like a scene from The Expendables. She doesn't really do anything. You know, doesn't really compute that, you know, perhaps call help. So we do know that things that you perhaps should do or would expect to do, you may not get that from her. So someone pointed out she's female. There's blood found on a blanket. She's obviously, it could be menstrual blood, they said, which it could be. It could be. Again, you're not going to get the normality from her. So maybe she walks around, I don't know, leaving a trail like fucking Hansel and Gretel. I don't know. But look, let's have a look at some of the comments, because some of the comments that are raised are what the underlying issue is here. All right, so it says a lot of people missed this, including me, but Ann Taylor requested for some of Dylan's items to be set aside for testing. A blanket and a coat of Dylan's both tested positive for blood and required further testing. No results given. I would confidently say that it is not Koberger, but Dylan, who is looking like the most suspicious person in this case. Obviously, the defence thought so too. Now, I would say I don't think this is accurate, because let's not forget that it would appear that Ann Taylor did bring up alternative suspects, but it doesn't seem that the alternative suspects that she brought up was, in fact, Dylan. So it could be, as aforementioned, that this was her own blood, and we do just have to conclude that Dylan is just a little bit stupid, and you're not going to get from her what you would expect. Maybe that's just what young adults are like nowadays. They're a little bit thick in the head. But it just goes to show you this is an excerpt from the doc itself, and we'll go on to say that they've got some blood on them. It says here, look, June 8th, 2023, I presumptively tested the items from Report 140 with Blue Star at the MPD evidence storage. MPD evidence technician Tim Smallridge was present. The pink and white coloured blanket and green and pink coloured coat tested presumptive positive for blood. So obviously the comments have gone a bit mental, because they're saying, I am assuming they tested with our own blood, and that's why there wasn't a follow-up, even though it looks sketch without including that part. And I think this is the point here. I think what we're consistently seeing is it's like everything's half-baked. You get something thrown out like, whoa, blood on one of the surviving roommates, shit. And everyone's like, what? And then there's nothing that said, don't worry, though. We tested it and it was our own blood. Don't worry. It's like the other blood that was found around the different areas of the house on the banister. There's blood there. What? Whose is it? We don't know. We didn't fucking finish it. It's all of that. You know what I mean? There's no everything is half baked. Look, someone put here, look. Yeah, that makes sense to me. As someone who has periods, I would not be shocked if evidence of blood was found on my blankets and coat randomly. I don't know. I know sometimes they have better months than others. Maybe sometimes it's like, you know, like the Punami. Fuck! Like a scene from Jaws. Explain the jacket then. That's right. Like what I said. And why, Dylan, of all the things in her room that she specifically asked for, did she want that little bloody blankie and a bloody jacket that later said she didn't even recognise after asking for? The pink green jacket is from the spare room, not Dylan's room. And it was all presumptive positive, which doesn't mean ISP tested and it was actually blood. It could have been something else. Could have been, but again, because it's half baked, you're left with it could be blood. What is it then? Well, we don't know. That's it. Exactly. Isn't all this shit just absolutely ridiculous? We're all trying to piece together this shit house of an investigation that turned over nothing, only half-assed process. And again, that is the point, isn't it? Everything is just half-baked. Why can't MPD finish something? It's like it's one of those where every single piece of this is about incomplete investigation that they kind of start and then they're like, well, if you just fill in the gaps, just trust us, bruv. Trust us, bruv. We did the first bit. I know we didn't conclude it, but we just think if we would have concluded it, it would have given you this answer. Says, whoa, this is rather interesting. Where is the follow-up on this evidence? Were the items tested further? Was it actually blood? Whose blood was it? I don't understand why they release information about this without any follow-up. Don't they know it will cause questions if there is no follow-up investigation on these items and no real determinations that can be made from what was released? I have so many more questions every time something is released. This is Fruity Pebbles 321. Also, what does this mean? MPD had also given D back her belongings, but we were unable to get her to return them. Did they actually give her back some of her personal items that they shouldn't have? What was it they gave her back that they shouldn't return? What kind of evidence was found on those items they gave back? Someone else put in probably her own period blood is what I'm guessing. It says they were able to get her to return the items. So again, but we are in the realms of she was given items back and then they had to request them back again. You'll never see me claim the guy's innocent, but how is any lawyer supposed to defend their client if they're not even allowed to present someone this questionable as a possible lead or connection to the crime or a possible alternative suspect? How? What else can they do to build a defense? At that point, I'd give up too. Someone said they were just kids doing kid stuff. You also have Hitler denying alternative perp on the basis that the person didn't drive a white car. I find that so absurd. We've seen some people suspected for less. They could have at least pursued something in relation to her, knowing more, or just did more with her. It's baffling to me that she was cleared that easily. And on the opposite end, people not being arrested when there is a ton of evidence. I was listening to a podcast on the Jennifer Dulos murder. They have the husband on camera putting trash bags around town. Cops find trash bags and they are of her clothing soaked in her blood. And that still was not enough to arrest him. Here we have a speck of transfer DNA, shitty ID of a white car, and a witness who doesn't know what's real or not. Which is valid, isn't it? That's what you've got here. That is what you've got. Like this, right? Cops, tell us what happened, DM, blah, blah, blah. Cop, okay, sounds good. So she has taken a lot of fucking flack here. And again, this ain't about... And I'll perhaps do a live, and we'll see how this grows and expands, and we'll come back probably Sunday night. I'm back Sunday, and we'll come live together. But again, look, this ain't about. It's like what people are saying here. It ain't about turn around saying Brian Kohberger's innocent of this crime, these individuals are guilty. It's about trying to make sense of what you're being given. And, you know, before this plea deal, it was all about the guilters saying, oh, when this goes to trial, all of the evidence will become clear, all the answers will get answered, all the gaps will be filled in. And here we are. Here we are. And it's ludicrous to me. And if anybody is following this case still, whatever side of the fence they're on, and they're genuinely of a mindset that there is nothing to see here, and all that matters is that Brian Kohberger has admitted to this crime, then people need their heads read. You need your head read. At the very least, you've got to be considering that this was multiple perpetrator. The individual potentially admitted guilt because perhaps they were involved. Perhaps they're involved. Don't look like there's a plea deal incoming, but there is investigative issues. There is information issues. There are missing issues. There's issues that contradict the narrative that you're being told. And seemingly this crime was committed by somebody, in my opinion, who had killed before. Or at least they were a hunter. They had skill. They had technique. They knew what they were doing. And Brian Kohberger, I just don't think it's him. I just don't think he's got the skill to do what needed to be done. Yes, the individual fucked up, it would seem, with the knife sheath, if they did indeed leave the knife sheath there. Or was the knife sheath planted to give a connection? And I don't know. I don't know. All I do know is there is something really off with this investigation. And you've just got nothing but an abundance of half-baked, half-arsed stuff that don't answer anything. They just make you have more questions. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. And if you tell me I'm wrong, tell me why I'm wrong. Don't just tell me I'm wrong. Don't just be abusive. Don't be a dickhead. Just tell me how I'm wrong. Tell me why this needs to be left because everything's okay here. There's nothing to see here. Love you all. I'll catch you all tomorrow. Mwah.